Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of our podcast, Cine Drivers. I'm Sofia and with me there is Maria.
Hi.
And today we are going to speak about a documentary. For the first time after a ton of dramas,
Finally.
we have decided to change a bit the category of film.
Yeah. I love documentaries, so I was really excited to watch one actually. So I'm happy about it.
So we have decided to watch My Octopus Teacher. My Octopus Teacher is a documentary film directed by Pippa Herlich and James Reed that won Oscar for Best Documentary Feature in 2021, so this year. And the documentary started in 2010, required almost 10 years to be finished. So quite a good amount of time. I don't know, Maria, because I'm not such an expert, but I think it's...
Yeah, for documentaries tend to take sometimes more time than fiction, especially one of these characteristics. So yeah, but also some fiction films have taken years and decades. So it's not the normal thing.
Okay.
It's not normal, but sometimes it happens.
Okay, I didn't know, so thank you. And it documents the close relationship that the filmmaker Craig Foster forged with a wild octopus in a kelp forest in South Africa. Craig Foster was going through a hard and dark period of his professional life, so he was exhausted by work. He didn't believe anymore in his job. He was no more motivated, and also those influenced all his private life. He needed a radical change, we can say, so he decided to return to diving, a childhood passion, and in order to be connected to the nature. And actually a lot of years passed before he met the octopus that captured his attention. But when he met the octopus, then started to visit her, every day, and his interest in the octopus life grew into health obsession that permitted to create an emotional connection between them and to discover unknown animals' behaviors. So that's more or less the plot, but obviously if you want to know more, you have to watch the documentary.
It's not very long as far as I can remember.
Yeah, it's only 1 hour and a half. And Maria, you want to add something?
I will talk, as I usually do, about more of the technical aspects of the film. This film is the main cinematographer was Roger Horrocks, which is a cinematographer specialized in underwater and aerial cinematography, which is a very curious thing to specialize yourself in, but it works very well for documentaries and stuff. And let's say there were two camera operators, him and Craig Foster, which is the one of the main characters.
We can say the protagonist.
The main characters with the octopus. That unfortunately I don't think it has a name. This is the octopus. But he was also a camera operator because both of them were filming basically. And they're actually friends. I learned this today. So they decided to start doing this, and they shot it with... I don't usually speak here about cameras, but I think that in this occasion it's good to speak about it because it's it's a different thing, as it was mainly shot underwater. So I think it's very interesting. So they shot it with two cameras, a Red Dragon camera, which Red is a very well-known brand for cameras, and they did like a lot of wide shots, but they weren't too wide. You wouldn't be able to see everything, but it was quite cool. I really like those shots underwater where you could see, the colors were amazing. you will see, I will talk about it, but I really like the cinematography overall. And so they used that was Roger Horrocks' camera, the cinematographer, and then Foster uses Panasonic Lumitough waterproof camera. They were using different cameras, which means using different formats, but they were talking about always making sure that the look was visually coherent, because when you use different cameras, the images don't look exactly the same, so you have to actually make it work, and that's what I think they did.
So the work is harder if you have different camera.
Yeah, I would say yes. And filming underwater is a very complicated thing for many different reasons. But to begin with, you need to use either a special waterproof camera, like the one that Foster used, or you have to buy a waterproof case. And what it does is basically it's a plastic case, or we'll see. I think it's made out of some type of hard plastic. And you put the camera inside of the case. You close it extremely well, and so that basically not a single drop of water can get into the casing and into the camera, because that would ruin it. Basically.
I think I will be super stressed if I put my camera inside a case and
we had to do once for a short film, and I was the one, because I was a second AC or first AC, like an assistant camera, and I was the one that had to prepare the camera inside of the casing. So I was super stressed, like I need to close this very, very well, so that I don't ruin the camera. So yeah, it's curious because the main character was also the one filming everything, but it makes sense also because Craig Foster was and is a documentary filmmaker, so I think it was natural for him also to do it, as they both did similar things. So yeah, I really like the idea.
And also the fact that he filmed the film helped him to believe again in
his job and to relive that spark again. So I think it was a very good idea.
I'm not an expert, but I think my Octopus Teacher is not a traditional documentary about animals, because the film tells the octopus story in a such personal and open-hearted perspective that people can like or not. For example, I didn't appreciate it so much because for me it sounds too much as a love story. I don't know what you think about.
I didn't see it like that, just because I think that it was more about like the fascination of actually getting to have a connection with a wild animal. That it's very unusual for an octopus to trust you and to not even trust you, but get close to you and actually touch you. That must be absolutely crazy. So I didn't see it in that light. I just saw that I thought that he was fascinated by the fact that he could create that connection with this type of wild animal. Also because we're very used to these types of connection that we have, like with our pets, for example. Like with a dog, with a cat, it's easy because we're used to it. But seeing that with a marine animal, that it's not, for example, a dolphin or something like that, is shocking. But it's also very fascinating. But I think it's because of the animal, not because of anything else. I don't know.
Maybe it was only because I expected a different type of story.
At the beginning, I was also like, wow, like I was super shocked, like, what is really the octopus is getting close to a human, because I don't think they do that very often. So yeah, I think that the guy was super fascinated and in love with the animal basically, but I wouldn't say it's I mean you can say it's a love story if you want. Yeah, it could work as that.
A sort of love.
I mean, yes.
But at the same time, I have to say that the documentary has amazing images. And all the animals and places they recorded fascinated you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I've never been in South Africa, but I think it's an amazing place.
At least the
in the documentary shows
like
very amazing place.
It was beautiful. Like honestly, cinematography is very, very cool, because I used to love like nature documentaries when I was a child, and especially the ones about the sea. I was fascinated, and I remember that I was like, I would love to do this when I grow up, to go and swim and dive and just film animals, because it's super fascinating. I think it's totally a different world that we don't know that much about. So the images were just stunning. I thought they were amazing, and I would say that the thing that I liked the most, more than the story itself, I just thought that the story was like fascinating and cute. But even more than the story, I loved the cinematography and the music. I really liked, because I think it went very well with the this like emotional characteristic that the documentary has. So yeah, I found it very moving. I don't know,
to create the atmosphere.
Yeah, it was a very moving film. And you could see that the main character Foster, he was very, very like emotionally attached to that experience. So yeah, I thought it was moving actually.
And I want to add that the intimate relationship Craig and the octopus created teach us about the human connection with nature, and it's an amazing message that the documentary
That's how I saw it.
Gave us. Yeah. And in the end, the film gave us a lesson about the fragility of life, the fragility of a man that is no more satisfied on what he's doing, who tries to find new inputs, and the one of an octopus at the bottom of the ocean that has to try to survive. So these are the messages that the documentary at least give to me. And for this reason, I'd like it, but I don't know. I have to think about this love story between Craig and the octopus.
I think that you're seeing it more as a love story when it's not that much a love story. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But maybe it's in the way that he was explaining things.
Yes.
Probably
in the way me a lot.
Because he was very, very emotional about it. And at the beginning I was also shocked, but I was like, okay, he's just speaking like that, because you could see that for him that experience was very important, because it was therapeutic. I think that's
like
why
I'm
not focusing in what you're focusing, because I don't know, I just feel like for him meeting this animal and becoming friends with this animal, which is what happened, was like very therapeutic, as he wasn't really having a very, he wasn't going through his best moment maybe. So yeah, I would say that the film shows again, like you said, like the connection that humans have to nature, how important that actually is, and how therapeutic it can be when you're having a hard time.
Pet therapy,
yeah, but that's only like
new type of pet therapy.
Yeah. with octopus. And I liked it as well, because it's not your typical nature documentary. Maybe yes, it's not the best documentary that I've seen maybe, but I really enjoyed it, because yes, you learn a lot about octopuses, which by the way are freaking cool creatures. They're super cool, and I didn't know.
You're right.
But even with that, that's not the main point. I think it's made to focus on the fact that we're all here sharing the same spaces, and even if our lives are different, as like a human, a dog, a cat, an octopus, a plant, even if our lives are very, very different, they all matter. So we should all try to take care of each other as much as we can, and respect nature and natural spaces. And I think that's why after all this experience, he created an organization. It's called Sea Change Project, and as far as I know, I don't know much about it, but as far as I know, it's to take care of the the sea, especially in that part of South Africa, and the kelp forest. And so I think it was an ode to nature. That's how I see this documentary. It's like an ode to nature and the connection that humans have with nature and animals, and so I liked it.
So if you want to discover something more about octopus and this close relationship between a man and a wild animal, go on Netflix and watch My Octopus Teacher.
Mm.
So for today, I think it's everything.
Yes.
And see you soon to the next episode.
Bye.
Bye bye.